Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcat Sports Network. It's time to talk spring football, and we're joined by McKendree head football coach Mike Babcock. Coach, thanks for taking time out of your busy spring schedule for joining us. Already 1 week of spring ball in the books, more than 80 football players taking part in this spring's camp. Talk about the first week. Give us your general assessments. How do you think things have shaped up so far?
I think overall it's been a good first week. Obviously there's highs and lows, especially when you're trying to bring young guys, into the mix as well. But overall, very pleased on where we're at and where we're going, and kind of excited to get back out there and finish the next 3 weeks.
Obviously, in the fall, Bearcats finished strongly, 5 straight wins to end the season, finished 5-6 overall, tied for second place in the GLVC standings. What are your objectives going into this spring camp as you enter your third season at the helm of this program?
Obviously we finished with a great, overall great finish. Like you said, winning 5 games in a row, and just to remind the guys that we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied from where we're at. We're not satisfied what we finished this year. We want to be known, in the top tier in the league as one of the contenders, and to get them to buy in that every day you have to come to work and bring your hard hat and lunch pail. And I thought that for the most part in January, February, March had great conditioning, great weightlifting. Our numbers improved in many areas. Now the pads are on. Now it's 15 practices to be able to see who's going to be a starter, see who's going to learn the offense, defense, special teams, all the system, and really focus on, can we take that next step and next jump, and to be able to become a contender.
You talk about having those 15 practices under your belt in spring practice. Obviously, a third of those out of the way, or almost a third at this point. Does that give you a fair enough amount of time to assess players that maybe didn't get as much playing time last year? Some of the starters, some of the second teamers. Why don't you talk about that?
A little bit. I think that varies. We're still a fairly young football team, especially when it comes to our twos. That's one of the big things that we're working on, especially offensively, is just our depth. You look at our offensive line, a lot of guys coming back, as far as starters, but the backups, all freshmen. All young guys who've never played in a football game. So to create that depth, and also to create that competition, we have guys that are playing certain spots that are vying for a senior that graduated, and now that spot's up for grabs. So we've got 2, 3, 4 guys that are trying to give it their all and show us what they can do in order to be the starter.
You've touched on offense. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about defense. Obviously, a new look there this year with a couple of brand new assistant coaches coming in, a familiar face, and Mike Harrison coming back to staff after a couple of years away from the program, and Joe Patasso added as your defensive coordinator. So talk about those two gentlemen and what they add to this program and what intangibles they're going to help improve this McKendree defense.
Sure. First with Coach Patasso, he's a great young football coach. And when I say young, I mean he's, not that he's 20, 21 years old, but no, he's a fiery guy that has been a head coach, that's been a coordinator at multiple schools, a lot of experience, and a great detail, great teacher. I think the guys are really going to bond well to Coach Patasso. He's done a fantastic job, ever since he, stepped foot on campus. Coach Harrison, he brings that kind of, hey, I've been through the ringer. I've been here before. I've gone to classes and still had to have enough energy to come out to football practice. So he brings kind of that McKendree tie to some of the guys that it can be done. And the great thing is that both of them have been in the same type of defensive scheme, defensive system, so they talk the same language. Both are great teachers. The defense as a whole is really buying into what both of those coaches are bringing to the table, and I'm very excited to see what that brings even in the fall.
As you head into the middle stages and going on towards the later stages of spring practice, are you really feel like you're at where you need to be right now? Are we a little bit behind in practice? Do you feel like we're right on pace where we need to be as we head into the middle stages?
I think there's always ebb and flows. We've had a practice that I thought was one of the best practices that I think I've ever seen, here. And then, I've had another one where it's, hey, we definitely need to pick it up. And so it's teaching the guys that you gotta stay off the mountaintops, stay off the peaks and out of the valleys. You gotta constantly be consistent in how you practice and perform, and getting the guys to buy in. So we're always trying to work for perfection. We're always trying to make us better. I don't know if we'll ever get there. I don't know if any school will ever get there, but we will continue to kind of push forward. Are we there yet? No. But we will continue to keep pushing, keep battling, and overall, I am excited about where we're at and where this team can go.
Well, as the weather turns towards warmer weather, towards football weather almost, glad to catch up with you, and we'll catch up with you again here soon, just ahead of the spring game.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Don't forget to catch the latest information on McKendree football as well as our other athletic programs at www.mckbearcats.com.